very lovely young lady. She calls herself Ms. Liesel, and she is a wedding events planner. Her beautiful office here in Beti is called Barabor. We will tell you more about Barabor in a while, but in the meantime, let's talk to Liesel about what does she do as a wedding planner in Goa. Liesel, first and foremost, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
My pleasure.
And we are so intrigued that such a young person like you has done such a lot in the wedding event business. So we want to know more. How did you get into this line? Basically, not so much to find out more about you, but to tell our youngsters that here is the role model. You know, here is somebody you can you can follow and do it yourself, because Goa has become a major wedding destination in India.
Yes, it has.
And since you have taken it up so professionally, we want to hear more. So tell us, how did it all begin?
So the name of the company is Knot It Up. We started the wedding planning company in Bombay actually 7 years ago.
Okay.
And I basically started it for the love of weddings. And I think that's what kind of keeps me going every day, right? So for anybody that wants to start a new business, I think that's your first point of reference. Is you have to love what you're doing, otherwise you're not going to go ahead with it, right? So I started doing weddings mainly because there was a point in my life where I was working in the corporate world and I was kind of done with what I was doing. I felt like I had learned enough, and it was time for me to transition and to move on to doing something that gave me more satisfaction and something that I knew that I would want to wake up to every day. And at that same point, my brother was getting married and he asked me to kind of help him with planning his wedding. And it was very strange for me because it was the first time that I was doing it, but along the way realized that it was just something that I enjoyed doing. And that's how it all began. After that, a friend of ours asked me for help with her wedding, and that's where it kind of took off.
Wow.
And
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Two things emanate from what you just said. One, you said you were in the corporate world.
Yes.
What were you doing in the corporate world and transition into?
So I worked in retail for 7 years with
Okay.
a brand called Mango in
Okay.
Bombay, and Mango is a Spanish brand that basically sells clothes. And I actually worked as when I quit with them, I was their country head and I was taking care of their stores all over India. So in Delhi, Bangalore, Bombay, Calcutta, Hyderabad and Pune. And I used to work with them on sales and operations, help out with marketing, training staff, setting up new stores. So it was a huge responsibility, a fabulous experience. I learned a lot, especially like team building and being able to conduct training sessions and setting up new stores. It's a huge task. So it was a great experience. I did learn a lot from it, and I think it also has helped with teaching me a lot with starting my own business.
Yeah, yes. Right. Then you said you helped your brother with the wedding.
Yes.
Now, normally somebody who is going to do an event for the family member would hire somebody who is in the professional business of events.
Correct.
So what was your professional background in events that you did what you did for your brother?
Absolutely nothing. I have no formal education in events or event planning or wedding planning. Nothing. And also no formal education in business. But somehow I feel when you're so passionate about something, you will do whatever it takes to make that dream come true, right? So, and today with internet and technology, it's so easy to go online and to kind of study a business, right? There's so many people that are in the business and that have the experience, and it's so easy to go and read about what they've done and what the mistakes that they've made and how to kind of learn from them. So I think that's how it all started. It basically started with just reading a lot about what people are doing in the business and how to kind of start the whole process and stuff. And more than that, it's also the experience. The minute I did the first wedding, I remember when my friends asked me, I didn't even hesitate. I said, yeah, sure, I'll plan your wedding. And then I remember coming home going, oh my God, what did I just do? You know, I just said I'm going to plan someone's big day without even knowing how or where to start, you know. So, but it's that, I think that determination, right, to like go ahead and do something and learning something new.
So tell me, in the wedding business, there are lots of departments you would like, you know, there is the entertainment side, there is the drink side, there is the church, and etc., etc. So, which is the one that has made you so well known in Bombay as well as in Goa?
I think it's the creative bits, and secondly our organizational skills, because there are two aspects to wedding. One is that it needs to be organized in such a way that everything goes as per plan and there are no glitches, there's no we like to think of it as having no mistakes at all, even though perfect is not a word that we need to kind of stress on. But as a company, if you're giving out your service to somebody, then we try to make sure that there's absolutely no glitch. So the only way that can happen is if you're very organized and your team is also on the same page as you, and coordination is done like to perfection and stuff like that. And the second part of it is the creative. So you walk into the wedding, the first thing that you look at is the decor and how beautiful the space is looking, and the florals and the drapes and all of that. And that's the first thing, the first impression that you will get. Correct. So for me, I think it's the creative that has kind of brought us a long way, because we get a lot of appreciation from clients and also from people that attend weddings for the decor and the work that we've done.
So tell me, how did your company make itself well known for those wanting to get married? I mean, here is a young lady who's got no experience in the business, yet she has become so well known. How did it all? How was it done?
So I think the wedding planning business is one that kind of grows through word of mouth.
Okay.
It's mainly referrals and that's how it started. From one wedding, we would get 2 weddings, and out of the 2 weddings, we got 4, and then it just starts multiplying. Along the way, we have social media that helps us to kind of put our work out and get people to see what we're doing. So we put stuff on Facebook and Instagram. We have a website now which also helps us reach out to clients that live abroad and international clients and stuff. So but mainly I think it's word of mouth. A lot of weddings that we've gotten are through contacts and through people who've either been at a wedding or whose wedding we've done.
Now, you said you started in Bombay, okay? You made yourself well known there. Then you shifted base to Goa.
Yes.
How did that transition continue for you?
So actually, it was a beautiful move, because at the time that that I decided to move to Goa, destination weddings had become so big, and Goa was one of the major hubs, right? So even before I moved to Goa, I was practically in Goa 6 months of the year, because of work, right? So I didn't hesitate, or I didn't feel like the move to Goa would kind of slow work down, because I knew that this is where the destination weddings are becoming, bigger than any other part of India. So it was actually a very easy move.
So, having said that, has your business trebled or quadrupled because
definitely.
you're coming?
It has.
Wow.
And also, we're doing more beautiful weddings than we were doing in Bombay, because Bombay you're kind of stuck to banquet halls
That's right.
and not so many outdoor spaces.
Yeah.
But Goa has such beautiful venues, and it has the beach, and it has lawns, and so many lush venues, right? So weddings have obviously become more prettier than they were.
So what do you prefer? You prefer a beach event, or your personal preference is which one?
I love beach weddings. Basically, I like outdoor weddings. I like it when it's outdoor, and I like it when we are able to use natural props to, make the wedding prettier or more beautiful, instead of like putting up structures and all of that. So I like outdoor venues that allow you to do
Are
that.
you, Liesel, a one-woman brigade, or do you have a lot of people too?
So no, I have a team because weddings are not something that one person can handle by
Alright,
themselves.
okay.
Even though it is something that I did for the first 3 years, and I would basically take on a wedding and then do everything from scratch to finish by myself. But then obviously with experience we've learned that it's not a business that you can take on solely. You need a lot of help. You need like as many hands as you can get to basically ensure that everything works well. So I have a team of like I have 2 head coordinators that are with me all the time, and then depending on the scale of the wedding we hire freelance coordinators, hospitality teams. We have a production team that we basically work with, and they have a setup of about 50 people, so you definitely need that extra help.
So, when it comes to say a beach wedding, you do the lighting, you do the decor, you do the sound system, you do the drinks, you do the food, you do everything.
Everything, yes. But we also give people the opportunity to decide how much assistance they need from us. So we're not rigid with what you need to book us for. If you want to book us for end-to-end services, then we will be your personal wedding planners and we will come in from start to finish. But there are some people who also like to plan weddings themselves, like plan a few things, but then they need assistance with a few things, so we're willing to even take that on. And then we also offer a service where you can plan your entire wedding, but on the day of the wedding, if you need people to help you out with coordinating and stuff, we also give you a coordinator for that.
Right, okay.
So we don't push ourselves onto the clients, it's what they want us.
That's quite innovative, isn't it? Very nice, okay. Now tell me, you mentioned that you've got teams and all that. Now many entrepreneurs tell me that they find Goa a very difficult place to get people.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
I think it's very difficult. Like we've tried to recruit staff through like putting advertisements in newspapers and then using all these recruitment sites like Naukri.com and OLX and all. But it's very difficult because we don't get many responses, and the responses that we do get are also probably not fit for the kind of job that we're doing. So I think it's very difficult. And somebody needs to find a way because it's strange. Like we bump into people and they'll be like, we don't know where to look for jobs in Goa. It's basically, I don't know whether it's through word of mouth or if there was some kind of association or something where people could drop off CVs or something, like for youngsters to be able to know where to go and where to apply for a job. I think that would help, but right now it's very difficult. Like we are kind of looking at social media as our backup plan now to kind of.
So your favorite situation is Facebook now?
Yeah, basically now you have a lot of these groups on Facebook, right? So there's a group called Goa Employment where people put up posts about requirements and what they're looking for and stuff, and I think that is what is. We've got a few queries from there.
Okay.
So that's kind of helping a little bit. But I fail to believe, I'm sure there are so many youngsters out there that need jobs.
Oh yes, there are.
But I don't know where to find them. Like I don't know how to bring them in here.
Well, if anybody's got any ideas of how to bring youngsters to this young lady, I suggest you better come to Beti, come to this beautiful villa here called Barabor, and I'll tell you more about it now. Tell me, how did this Barabor idea start? Because it's a lovely word to say get together, but
yes.
What was that idea?
So actually the space that we have here is an ancestral property.
Okay.
And when we opened up the space, we actually opened it up to start the wedding planning office. As we started doing it up, we realized that it's such a huge space and it has so much potential, and so we wanted to kind of welcome other people to also come in and work with us. So that's how Barabor happened. The space is actually a co-working community space, and the idea behind it is that youngsters or new entrepreneurs, new startups can just walk into the space. There's no legalities in terms of signing contracts. Like if you had to go and rent out an office, you'd have to sign a 1-year lease and then do all those formalities, right, to get that office, and then you're also paying way more than you probably need.
That's right.
Here you come in, you just get as much space as you need for either you or your team, and you pay by the month, so there's no hassle with contracts and agreements and all of that. And you also get the opportunity to network with other people that come and work here, to collaborate with other people that are working here, to kind of share your views and understand what other people are doing. So it's kind of opening minds.
So would you, if say a couple of youngsters came here and set up base, would you, if they approached you and say, ma'am, how do we do this? How do we do this? How do we do that? Would you help them?
Yes, definitely.
Well, just listen to this very carefully, youngsters. If you like event management and you don't want to go to this post-graduation program that's available in Goa, you just want to study the basics and start your business, what better place to come right in the heart of Goa, bathing, and come to this place, take up a little office space for you here. The charges are absolutely minimal, and here you have a person who is ready to help you, guide you. So all you have to do is come to Ms. Liesel at this place in Bethi called Barador, and there we are. You have started the first step into getting into entrepreneurship. You have heard her personal story. Her personal story is she didn't know a thing about how to start a wedding plan. And today, she is a well-known figure not only in Goa, but in Delhi, Bombay, and many other cities of India. How? Expertise. How? Hard work. How? By doing what she is doing so well. So, youngsters, if you are wanting to get into events, and I know that many youngsters do want to get into events, just come and have a little chat with Ms. Liesel, and she will help you to set up a base here. Ask her for some tips, and she will willingly give that to you, and you can take your first step into business. That is excellent. That is very, very generous of you to offer your services. I want to ask one personal question.
Yeah.
I know you have a lovely young daughter.
Yes.
How do you manage family and business together?
So actually I'm very blessed with a really great support system. I have my family, my mom and dad that have moved here, and I also have my husband's family that lives here. So she's really lucky because she gets a lot of time to spend with her grandparents.
Okay.
And then once work is done, then we have her for the rest of the day. But the thing with weddings is also you can kind of go crazy because it is a money-making business. And I have actually decided to kind of limit the number of weddings we do a year, because for me it's about work-life balance. So I need to work as much as I can spend time with my family, right? So we managed to kind of work through it and kind of spend time with each other.
But having said that, work-life balance and all, I know that in Goa, the heavy stuff is always between October till say March.
Yes.
The rest is all family, isn't it?
Yeah, the rest is all family. The thing is, the rest of the years we are still busy because we are planning weddings for the season.
Okay, that takes the time.
So it still requires us to come into office and plan the day and plan for weddings. Like we've got bookings for 2020, and so we're already working on those weddings, right? So it's only that during the peak season is where we're on site and we're doing a lot of running around, and that's when that's when maybe she misses us a little bit because we get a little more busy than usual. But luckily the team that I have is great, so I do get a chance to even get out of that earlier than I used to. Okay. So it's good.
Tell me, any one wedding that gave you the greatest satisfaction in terms of what you did and how the people that gave you that business sort of said, Shabash, Liesel, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Tell us that one experience.
So I think it's the recent wedding that I did, the wedding that I did last in Jan. We did it at this heritage property in Aldona. It's called Avnilaya. And it's a beautiful property, but it's huge, like massive. It's got 3 villas and lawns and trees and everything. And I remember when we went there for the first time, we felt like it was close to impossible to plan a wedding there because it was huge.
So big.
And the client wanted to use every single corner of that space and not like leave anything out. So we managed to pull off a brilliant wedding because every single person that was at that wedding had great things to say about it. We had people from the business that actually called us and appreciated the work that was done. We even have like Vogue magazine and Condé Nast, and there are some of these wedding websites called Wedding Sutra and all which promote planners. So they're all doing a feature on this wedding.
Oh wow!
So it's a big thing for us because I know how much of hard work and how much of manpower has gone into making this wedding happen, and so it's great to know that it's being appreciated and
Wow.
People enjoyed it.
Fantastic, very
So
good.
yeah.
Okay, we have talked about many things, but a youngster wants to set up this business. He
Yep.
comes to you, you give him some tips, you help him out. How much money does he need or she need to really say, okay, now I'm in the business? And how does she get it?
So I think it's very important for anybody that's starting a business to have some capital in place.
Some capital is what?
So depending on what the scale of your business is or
Okay.
how you want to start it. I remember when I started my business, I had 5 lakhs in my bank. And I
Right.
said, now this 5 lakhs has to take me through setting up one whole year to be
That's
able
right.
to make money back, to also be able to kind of live, because that was the
Yeah,
only income,
absolutely.
the
Correct,
only money that I had, right? But from going to, I remember I used to get an income every month, when I was working with Mango, but I never really sat down to see where I was spending that money. But when I had the 5 lakhs, I remember jotting down every single thing, how it would be spent, where it would be spent, and stuff like that to kind of ensure. So planning your finances is very important. You decide, even if it's 1 lakh or 2 lakhs that you have with you and you want to start something of your own, you decide how you want to use that money. It depends what business, right? So if it's events, then you decide if you want to hire people, then this is how much you need to have as a backup. It's something that you need for yourself, and also you need to keep some money for advertising, for marketing. So you kind of need to work up a proper finance, like a balance sheet to know.
Let us say that somebody has talent, and you know that by seeing that person,
Yeah.
record this, that person has talent, but has no money. Does the bank or does the government, EDC,
Yeah.
give money for such kind of a business?
So I've heard recently that that the government is offering a lot of loans to
EDC gives 18 lakhs.
to new
Now,
entrepreneurs.
to start your own business.
Correct.
But they need a lot of things to be done before their money comes out.
Correct.
But what I'm trying to say is, if the person didn't have money but had the talent,
Yeah. I think it's possible to still
It's
start a
possible.
business. Yes.
all you need is passion.
All you need is passion. Yes.
So if you have the passion and you think you want to get into this business, very simple. Come to Basil, come to Board. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
I congratulate you for
Thank you so much.
having achieved so much, and
Thank you.
all the best for the future.
Thank you so much.